6 p.m. I call this meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District 2 Board of Commissioners to order. Certify there is a quorum present. Commissioner Dominy, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Arnold, and via Zoom is Commissioner Thornton, and so am I here. So at this time, I ask everybody to stand for the prayer and pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flag. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you today thanking you for all the blessings you've given each and every one of us. Dear Lord, we just thank you for the men who serve this country, that you watch over them and their families and bless the ones who made the ultimate sacrifice, dear Lord, and that we may enjoy the freedoms that we have. Dear Lord, we just ask that you can watch over us as we conduct this meeting. The things we do may be pleasing in your sight and be pleasing to the citizens of this county. All these things in your Son Jesus' name we ask. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I asked everyone if they would to please silence their electronic devices or turn them down to an acceptable level while we conduct the meeting. And this time, item number 3 is recognition of guests and special presentations. I don't think we have any with us tonight. So we'll move on to item number 4. Is there anybody signed up for public comment?
We do have one.
Okay.
Chief Peterson on 12.2.
Okay. All right, Chief. You'll have 3 minutes from the time you start speaking.
What I have to say is on the item 12.2, I was wondering if we, as for the Association of the Volunteers, want to know if I can bring it up at that time.
What did it say again, Dale? I'm sorry.
It's on the deal on 12.2, the item on 12.2. The item I have is on there. I would like to bring it up at that time if I could.
You'd like to bring it up at that time?
Yeah.
No, let's do it now. If we're gonna do it, I don't wanna debate it during that time. Whatever he's gotta say, let's hear it.
Go for it now.
Okay.
Do it now, man.
All right. Association, we have sat down and talked with the people at the office about the command trailer, and we had asked them during that meeting that to try to get an MOU brought up, and they never brought a MOU to us to try to redo it. So we tried to send one back to them. We have sent one, and they have not returned or said anything to us about a new MOU for the trailer. The trailer is going to be that we decided that they can still use the trailer, but we want to have possession of a trailer because we own the trailer. In return, since they didn't give us the MOU coming back to us, we have asked that we come get the trailer. So we came and got the trailer, and they took almost everything out of the trailer, so now the trailer's empty. And that was, we have that on tape. If you want to later on, we can give you the tape to hear what was done during that meeting. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. All right. Item number 5 will be our consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action related to the payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll requests, for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. There was no emergency purchases, so under 5.1, so 5.2 will be the payment of the bills. I didn't find anything out of the ordinary.
I don't have any comments to it either.
If not, I would entertain a motion, we pay our bills under 5.2.
So made the motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Arnold, we pay our bills under item 5.2 in the amount of $1,154,045.73. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. I didn't hear Scotty. I don't know if he's, can he hear us? Okay. All right, 5.3 will be the district credit card bills. I looked at those, I don't think I really found anything out of the ordinary, except, some things that need to be broken out better, so.
Yeah, and worth noting, I think that we got, a couple of them there that were just out on deployment. And so we got some new credit card charges coming in, but it's, out for, so nothing unusual about that.
Right.
Okay, I'll make the motion then that we pay our credit card bills in the amount of $18,316.93.
And the motion by Commissioner Donnelly, we pay our credit card bills in the amount of $18,316.93.
I'll second that.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.4 is our contract payments to our vendors, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and radio communication pagers, Mineola Fire Department, things of that nature, that are contracted payments each month or every quarter. You see nothing out of the ordinary with those either. So, if not, I would entertain a motion, we pay our contract payments.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wilson, that we pay our contract payments in the amount of $102,271.71. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Domney. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 5.5 is urgent repairs, Southern Tire Mart. I think that was, one of the trucks that, there was some, wear and tear on the rear tire. Is that right, Larry? Was that what it was?
That's correct. It was abnormal wear. We're working with the vendor.
Did you identify what was causing the abnormal wear?
I believe that they're pretty close to off-road tires, and what we saw was accelerated wear and tear, outside of what you would expect. So we think there might be a defect with those tires, and that's why we're working with the vendor.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we pay 5.5 and now $2,230.08.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domley, we pay for the urgent repair in the amount of $2,230.08. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.6, pre-approved payments made for the board, information only, and that's our Blue Cross Blue Shield and such as that. So we'll move on to item 6. There's no action to be taken on 5.6. Number 6 is approval of the minutes, and I understand the minutes are not ready, and we'll do those next
Yeah,
week.
Commissioner Dominic was out of town last week and didn't get to read them, so
Okay.
I'll take care of them.
That's, I have no doubt in my mind. Okay, we'll just, put those on the next agenda then. Okay. Item 7 is the executive director report.
I, as usual, will highlight a few main items. You have the written report, so hopefully that will suffice mostly. But we have received a new proposed interlocal dispatch agreement from the county. It is essentially the same as the old one. They keep the fee unchanged at around 140,000. Actually, it's exactly 140,000. The last fee for the old dispatch agreement was 141, so they actually have reduced it by $1,000. There were a few typos and obvious mistakes in the proposal they sent to us, so I sent it through to council to coordinate with the county's Mr. Wilson at the county level to correct those. But we are pleased to see finally the renewal of that. The Finance Department has prepared in this meeting a updated and up-to-date schedule that shows you what we think the outcome at the end of the year on the budget, the estimate will be, and we compare that to the budget. And I think the board will be pleased once Mr. Beam will review that with the board. The budget development is well underway. We're actually ahead compared to last year, and Mr. Beam is the primary budget lead and supported by Mr. Locke in an advisory capacity. So we're broadening the knowledge base of everybody to run the budget. And as far as the audit is concerned, in the report you will see that the target completion date I state is June 1. I have to correct that and say June 30th, based on the latest update we have received from the auditor. So that constitute my highlights, so I'm here to answer any questions the board may have.
Yes, I do. You said the budget's well underway. Did y'all reach out to the department chiefs to find out if there's anything that they see that they need on the volunteer side of this equation?
Not yet at this stage, no,
Okay.
sir.
But you are going to?
We will absolutely contact each VFD chief to see if they have any special requests.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. 7.2 is a recognition of our executive director and assistant executive director. The district wishes to commend Executive Director Eric Edstrom and Assistant Director Larry Locke on their successful completion of the Texas Certified Public Manager Program, a 14-month course of study, and there will be a little graduation ceremony at the Texas State Capitol on June the 9th. And so I just say this accomplishment reflects their commitment to public service, excellent and professional growth. So we appreciate y'all for taking it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hard work.
Yep.
Y'all have fun at the state capitol.
Yes. All right. All right, 7.3. Where'd Chief go? He take off?
He got a phone call.
He got a phone call. Okay, well, can we come back to that?
Yes, sir.
We'll say that and come back unless he's on the phone.
Here he goes. Coming in right now.
Is he? Okay. That's okay. Anyway, 7.3 is recognition of our Chief of Operations, Chief Greaser. The district acknowledges Chief of Operations Eric Greaser for his recent academic achievement. Chief Greaser successfully completed a Master of Science in Fire Executive Leadership from Columbia Southern University. His commitment to professional development exemplifies the district's core values of leadership, dedication, and continuous improvement. Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations, Chief.
All right. Item number 8 will be the financial reports.
So I wanted to look at the budget versus actual report for October 1st through April 30th for the operating fund. You should have hopefully that in front of you. And just looking at the operating fund, our property tax, we're at 98% recorded for the year. We feel we will collect 100% of the property tax. Our sales tax, I think Eric had probably indicated prior that we're very optimistic about sales tax for this year. We're right at 60% collected for the year. We're 7/12 through the year, so that's right in line with where we should be. Overall, of our total revenues, we have collected approximately 73% of the total revenues this time. Just looking at last year, at the same period last year, we had collected 69% of the revenues. Looking at personnel cost, the compensation part, We are right at 59% for the year, so that's right in line. We should be right at 58%. We do have some deficits, but we're looking at some opportunities to cover those in other areas. In benefits, we're right at 73% for the year, but they're a little skewed because we had that one-time payment to TCDRS. Total personnel cost, we have 16.9 million budgeted. We have utilized $10.8 million. That's right at 63%. Again, we have that $1.6 million payment we made to TCDRS, which kind of skews that number. But compared to last year, we're right in line. We're right at 63% for this year and 59% for last year. Looking down the page, we've made all the transfers for the year, so there's really nothing to follow up there on. We plan to utilize the majority of the budgets here under the sundry principal and sundry interest. Those are scheduled payments that typically don't happen until the end of the fiscal year. So we'll make those payments probably in late August or early September. I want to say fire operations in total, we budgeted $976,000. If you added the expenses to date and the encumbrances, we're right at 60% for the year. And we should be getting hopefully an invoice from the county for that $140,000 CAD project. And so that'll align us perfectly. Operations in total, we're right at 54% for the year. Compared to last year, we were at 58%, so we're fairly in line. Looking on down the page, onto the next. Overall, just looking at support services, $2.3 million budget. If you add the encumbrances with the actual income in year to date, we're right at 65%. So we're in pretty good shape right now. Overall, our expenses budgeted $27.8 million, and our expenditures are $18 million. If you add the encumbrances of $488,000, that's 82% of the budget utilized, but that's a little bit skewed because in that total expenses were included the $4.4 million of the transfers, which have already occurred for this fiscal year. So overall, for the operating, we seem to be in pretty good shape. I can answer any questions about operating if you have any.
That was good. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, fiscal year 2025 budget versus full year estimates. For board information only, no action is required.
Yeah, so as similar to last year, we put together like a mid-year estimate. We were a month behind on the mid-year, but we had, and it was a group effort. It was me and Eric in a room. We had the chief in here with his team and Larry and his team, and we just went line by line through here and talked out the expenditures for the rest of the year. So there's a couple things that I want to point out. On page 1, about midway through page 1, there's a total that says revenues total. If you look over to the far right, you see in parentheses $732,046 or $732,046. How to read that is we anticipate collecting $25.5 million, i.e. $732,000 greater than what was budgeted. That's what we anticipate. Now, there's a reason for that. There was TIF-MOS revenue that we're including in this. And then also, as Eric has indicated before, our sales tax is a little more optimistic than our original budget. So, again, revenues in total, we are anticipating of $24,821,428 budgeted, but we are anticipating $25,553,474 greater than what was budgeted in revenue.
and those are split about 50/50, right? Phenomenal number between
Yes.
TIFMAS and the sales tax?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so, I'm gonna skip to page 3. Down at the very bottom, second line from the bottom, we got expenses total. If you look far over to the right, we're showing $995,663. That's what we're anticipating as a budget surplus in expenses. And what I mean by that is we budgeted $27,850,977 for the year. We plan on spending less, $26,855,314. We have approximately $890,000 in contingency that we started the year with, and our goal is to keep that contingency intact. So at the end of the year, we will have, hopefully, if nothing extraordinary occurs, we will again try to keep that contingency intact, and then operations and support have identified some additional savings in some other areas. So again, we anticipate in total $1,727,710 to the good, for lack of a better description. I can go into any details on here if you'd like me to.
So what have we collected on the TIFMA so far?
So far, let's see, back on page 1. So far, TIFMAS income, well, we've recorded $617,598. And actually, we're probably going to collect more than that, but we were just reluctant. There's such a delay in when you ask for reimbursement and actually receive it. So if you look over, that's the total for the year. We're probably going to collect more. But again, so what we've collected this year, some of it occurred in FY24, but we're just getting it this year.
There's usually a 90-day lag time from the time it's submitted till you get something back, but,
Or plus.
or longer.
You're dealing with the government. so-
Yeah, that's right. Well, the big thing about it is, once we get the letter from them saying that it's approved, and you're pretty well sure you're gonna get it, it just depends on when they write the check.
And the goal also is that once we get the letter from the state where it says you have approved the invoice, going forward, we will start reporting that as a revenue and just set up a receivable for it. That way we can keep a tighter control and match TIFMA's revenue, TIFMA's expenses.
Which should come out to either be a wash or we'll gain a little bit.
You should gain a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, the biggest outlier outside of that is gonna be our overtime that we've all known about and talked about each and every month, and then the associated benefits that go along with that. But, you know, you set aside that part of it, and, you know, a lot of these are, on a percent basis, are pretty minuscule, the ups and downs on them. So overall, I think it's been managed quite well and it's yielding a positive rather than negative. So-
Positive, yeah, instead of negative, that's the big thing. All right, anybody else have any questions for Keith on anything?
Thanks,
Thank you,
appreciate the
Keith.
information.
Yes, sir.
Item 10, Human Resources. Sherry, glad to have you back.
Thank you, it's good to be back. You have my HR report before you. I was going to point a couple things out on it. Lieutenant's testing is scheduled for June 10th and 11th. And then our benefit renewal, I met with Brinson Benefits, and we went over our strategy for the renewal coming up October 1st. And they're going to actually go to market July 16th, and this will also include the plan designed by VFIS for the first responders, so we'll be able to compare. And I'll be making those recommendations to the board in August. And that's pretty much all I wanted to point out on the report, unless you had any other questions. Okay.
It's 10:21. How about injuries? Do we have any injuries?
We did not have any injuries for the month of May, which is great. We do, however, still have someone out that's been out for the past couple months or so, maybe 3 months now. And I do not have a return yet for, a date of return yet for him. So,
At some point in time, I'd like to get an update on kind of what's transpired over the last couple of months and where we actually sit with that case overall. I mean,
with that particular case?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're, like I said, we're 2 months, still pending.
Okay.
Any other questions for Sharon? No. All right, thank you. 11, Community Outreach Coordinator Report. Ms. Nikki.
Good evening. So if you guys have been watching the news, you know that this last several weeks has been jam-packed with hard calls. We have had some big residential structure fires, we've had some grabs, and we have had a significant amount of time spent on the water with some difficult situations. So as far as our relationship with the media, we have just pretty much been on call 24/7 with them. So we've been building quite the shorthand with them. But just great job by our team because they've done a phenomenal job in responding, which going into this time of year where families are spending more time on the water, it lined up that we were meeting with some of our communities that live on the Lake Palestine in that area, some of those HOAs. So we really got to spend some time with them and focus on what we're doing with our Swift Water and Rescue team, bringing the boat out there, them getting to see that presence on the water. And of course, going into the holiday weekend, that was something that we were sharing with those families, was that you would be seeing us out there. And so I think they really appreciated that with the feedback that we were given. Just had a great time getting to know them and talk to them about what they're seeing out of our district. And again, a lot of that time on the water, they're very much appreciative of that. We've gotten to spend some time, a couple of these things. Jellystone Park, we were out there last year. We got invited back again, so we had a good time with them. Just that big tourist attraction that's out there in the Red Springs area, getting to meet with some of those young families. So those are some of the lighter things that we've gotten to do, in addition to some of the other HOA meetings that we've met on the other side of the county, not necessarily on the water. So just having a great time meeting with those residents and getting to talk through some of those things. And for a lot of them, it's just, hey, what are we doing about fire safety plans in homes? Like, can we come out and help with them on that, especially for some of those larger homes? So we're appreciative that they're asking those questions and that they're wanting to work with us on that. And of course, we've offered up our opportunities for CPR and things like that when they're ready to bring us in on some of those things. We got to spend a lot of time with our elementary schools across the county at the end of the school year doing field days and water days, so just some good community outreach with them, a lot of fun. I don't know if you were watching our social media, but I just happened to catch Zach Warren talking about how much he loved the job when we were out at Jackson Elementary, and that video alone had more than 65,000 views. So it was a pretty sweet little video. And then, again, we just participated in National EMS Week and giving some kudos and shout outs to those people that we partner with in the field of first responding, and then continue to work on our website.
You have more meetings planned for this month, I assume?
This month, we don't have anything on the schedule, but I have a feeling they'll probably come up as we continue to see just a lot of attention on the water. So we're getting a lot of that with some of that, all of that attraction. We do have a banquet coming up, so you've received an email about it, and if you can be there, we hope you can. There's an RSVP link on there, but for the county's banquet, June 12th at Green Acres. Okay.
I will make a comment on her report. I commend us for finally getting together and having some kind of event for our paid personnel. However, next year, I have challenged the staff to try to include the volunteers in this and try to figure out a way to get some recognition to our volunteers. It's highly deserved. So hopefully we can get that all planned out and figured out for next year.
Anybody else have any other comment? Thank you, Nikki. All right. Item 12, Assistant Executive Director's Report.
Commissioners, as always, my report's before you, and I'll just highlight just a few things. First, we rolled out a new system called Calendry. This is allowing our end users, the firemen and volunteer, paid staff, everybody, the ability to schedule with IT and logistics for things like account renewals or uniform sizing or anything like that. We have the ability to send those out in the automatic emails whenever an account's due for renewal. It sends out a link and allows them to schedule it online without our involvement. It's freeing up our phone calls. It is also helping reduce the amount of walk-ins that we have, which makes us be a little more flexible with our hours. We're able to send staff out of the office to go accomplish field work if we don't have anybody scheduled. So volunteers and paid staff alike, we ask that you really make use of that system, make sure you're scheduling through that system. It really helps us serve our end users better. And we have gotten very good feedback from just about everybody on it. And it's one of the first times I can remember really having positive feedback from everybody that it affects. So it's nice to see one of those projects. In addition to that, I want to commend Fleet. We've reduced that, the Fleet team has reduced from having a backlog of over a year on work orders to now being within 40 to 60 days. I anticipate that they'll actually drop below 30 days here very shortly on the 90th percentile. Mainly the holdups that we're having in that 40 to 60 day mark is actually waiting on parts to arrive on our specialty equipment. So that's a pretty significant achievement. And they're also down from having a peak ticket count of around 200 tickets open to we actually hit a little less than 30 over the last few days. So I'm pretty happy with all the hard work that Fleet's been putting in. The facility refresh at Red Springs is 99% complete. It's waiting for some final touches by IT. Obviously, they're a little short-staffed right now, so it's going to take a little time to get that accomplished. But we are pretty much done, and that firehouse is ready to be utilized and is being utilized. We will start shortly on the refresh project at Bullard. We're just getting caught up on a few tickets to make sure we're still within SLA compliance on all the normal tickets that come in, and then we'll start on that refresh project. Logistics is performing well. We're starting to get all the furniture has come in that we've ordered over the past couple of meetings, and all of those have been delivered with the exception of just a few. And we're finally starting to receive all of the station boots that have been a long back order. We're starting to see those come in. I think we've got about 50 to 60% of them. And we're still waiting on a few more to come in. We're still having a little challenge, but not as bad as what we had. The station outages that we've talked about during the special call meeting have all been restored. We did actually have a fiber failure during this most recent storm that led to some downtime at a few stations. We worked with our partner Optimum to restore service, and that was restored at about midnight last night. Other than that, I think everybody's holding pretty good on targets. Still some areas to work on, but there always is. Be open to any questions.
All right, 12.2, discuss, consider, and take action on outfitting the command trailer in the amount not to exceed $200,000. We got an email this afternoon. I think everybody, each board member got it, or did you see it, Brent? Okay. Did you see it, Troy? Okay. You got a copy?
I've got a copy of it.
Yeah, okay. You- got an extra copy here. I thought I had an extra copy.
I guess I'd have to ask what the relevance is in relation to our agenda item.
I don't know.
I mean, if there's some, I've got it, I've read it.
Eric, so he'll see it. I don't know if they sent it to him or not. Make sure they see it, so.
Yeah, what was your concern, Mr. Dominic, about how it relates?
Yeah, and what does it relate
Okay.
to as far as the action that's in front of us as the board?
I
And
believe,
it appears to be a grievance, not anything to do with what's actually on the agenda.
I believe it's asking why we're going ahead with another trailer when we had an existing trailer. Now, y'all probably discussed this during last year.
Yeah.
I was not privy to that, but that's my take on it, is they're asking why are we recreating another piece of equipment that we already had? And I think what they're asking also, if we'd have been able to work through this MOU, it may or may not have been necessary.
So I can answer part of the question for you without a doubt, is that the upgrade was required no matter which trailer. So if we're gonna invest monies into a piece of
Gonna
equipment, let's do ours.
invest in something that we own.
Yep.
I understand that. But I was just expressing from what I understood of when, before my board time
Okay.
and now.
Yeah, understand, yeah. One thing about you weren't privy to some of the information we had from the
Right.
past, right?
I just want to make sure everybody had a copy of this. Nothing's being withheld from anybody. So that's the reason I made a copy of it and brought one for everybody. Because I knew it wasn't sent to you. And I didn't see it till late this afternoon.
I guess it was withheld from admin and sent exclusively to the board.
So, but you got a copy of it.
Now I do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll move ahead with 12.2 and go from there. Eric?
Commissioners, this is a budgeted, line item budgeted and budget identified project. $200,000 was allocated in this fiscal year in the capital fund for upgrading the command platform. As you all know, we received a donated trailer from UT Tyler. That is a much larger trailer, self-leveling trailer, and will better serve the district in the long run. It is not going to be necessarily the best of the best, but we believe that it will serve the district and meet all of our operational requirements. In a perfect world, we would go to a trailer that has large slide outs, auto leveling, bathroom facilities. That's not something that the district needs to spend money on at this time. The trailer that was donated from UT allows the district to save quite a bit of money and move to a better platform than what we've had. It also increases the space and the operational capacity that we have. The technology and cost that you see to outfit this trailer is largely technology-based. It's mainly around radio interoperability and upgrading and refreshing the computer systems. There's also an air mast, upgraded satellite system for utilizing low Earth orbit, which is a lot faster speeds than what we had previously. And the other satellite that was on the old command platform is end of life. It's no longer operational. It's operating in the KU band, which is no longer allowed on the state contracts. So the equipment request that you have in front of us, along with the layout and all of the cabinet specs that you see, represents about 2 years planning. This has been a large project, and we're eager to get started with it. Be happy to answer any questions.
So is the funding request based off of the initial budget that you put together earlier? Has there been any update on pricing for any of these items?
That's correct. So we have had some changes. We've had to make some cuts in order to make this fit. We originally had planned on a couple of air masts instead of one. So we are downgrading in our mission capacity. But we feel like it's still going to be a great fit for us and still offer more operational capacity than what we had, and that it was important for us to come in on budget.
So that's a downgrade from the goal, not from
That's
the
correct.
previous trailer.
That is correct.
So not only how much did you have to cut for that? Do you recall?
That's about $30,000 for an air mast.
Okay, so we cut it out completely, or we're doing?
No, we reduced from 2 air masts to 1 air mast.
One air mat. So
Yes,
each
sir.
one's 30?
Yes, sir. Approximately. Let me get it.
Right, yeah.
I think in the funding, in the write-up, on the financial impact, I think that's about page 3. It's got a breakdown of what those costs are. That air mass is $21,000.
Okay, I see it there now. I'm gonna ask you, why would you cut that versus wrapping graphics?
If you have seen the trailer, it is,
I'm not looking to win a beauty contest. I'm looking to make sure that we have,
it's still got all the UT graphics on it with cutouts. It looks pretty rough.
not looking to win a beauty contest.
I understand.
I'm looking to make sure that we provide best service we can. So, are any of these items sole sourced?
A lot of these items are sole sourced. Not everything. A lot of these have been through evaluations. The cabinets, for instance, are through evaluations. The satellite earth station is sole source so that we can get it on the state contract. The air mast has been through some evaluations. Those are somewhat proprietary and hard to get 3 bids on. I think we only have 2 quotes on that one. Some of these are allowances, like the lights. The UPSs, although they classify under the IT exemption, we do have multiple quotes on. The network equipment are sole source. The cameras and recording systems are. The rack and power distribution systems are. The ACU is as well. The workstations we purchase direct from the manufacturer, and those are exempt. The mounts, radio cell antennas and all are going to, that's more of an allowance. The cell booster is multiple bids. The TVs we're going to purchase from low bid. Chairs, table, cabling is an allowance. KVM is sole source.
And the reason for my question is that, typically we'd have a bid tab.
Yes.
And we'd call out each one of these, and this is more of a global request, doesn't necessarily align with our purchasing requirements this time, 100%.
That's correct.
So I'm trying to understand how much of it that is, my expectation, you still go through the same purchasing process.
Yes.
That's correct.
We're not waiving that in any means by, any action that we would take here.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a lot of little pieces, so the evaluations are, there's a lot of them.
Understand it just doesn't fit our policy.
Yes, sir.
So need to make sure that we follow it as we go through these individual items. Now, the other concern I have is you stated that, that we're gonna do a lot of this labor in-house.
Yes, sir.
Which means IT.
It's actually going to be a mix. A lot of this is going to be done by fleet and facilities. The cabinets and stuff will be. Most of the IT work, no matter whether we did it in-house or not, would have come around to the IT portion still having to be conducted in-house. That's a lot of the network configuration and stuff like that has to be done by our technicians. So the work that's going to be done, most of it's going to be pulling wire. That's going to be done by the facilities team, as well as the cabinetry work that will be done by facilities. And fleet is going to be doing the air mast and the lights and that kind of thing.
My point is that we're already short.
Yes, sir.
We already got other projects that aren't moving forward. So we're gonna have to really sit down and make sure that we give good thought for how we're gonna prioritize our work there. Hopefully we can get somebody in, but in that interim, and we're just loading up more on them.
Yes, sir.
Wait and let them get everything together in full force, or what?
I don't think that we ever get there going that way. We put it off. I'm of the opinion that I would recommend that we go ahead and move forward with it as requested. It's just a matter of reporting back to us as we go through this process and keep us informed of what you're doing. It's not necessarily another approval request as much as it is just information that we can ensure that the process is being followed.
Yes, sir. In fact, we can even spin up a project report on these.
Okay. And that's my opinion.
The only comment I've got is, number one, when I was dealing with the association, I didn't really think it was a wise spend on our money to do a command trailer when we have as many vehicles in our fleet and we have as many stations around the area that we can run command out of. I don't fully understand the need for it. And if we're going to start doing something like this in the future, I would like communications with the other entities that actually hold the asset to begin with. I don't think there's enough communication between both parties so that they understood what was going on. The trailer itself was outdated, I understand that. If they would have been explained that and shared with the opportunities we had, I don't think the association would have been against what we were doing. I really don't think they would have been objecting at all. I just wish a little more communication from everybody,
Yeah.
both sides.
I agree. I respect that. I will tell you that during our meetings with the association, The question did come up on why we were moving to a different trailer, and those answers were provided. So that information has been known for quite some time.
I'll make the motion that we approve the request to move forward with outfitting the command trailer in an amount not to exceed $200,000.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney to proceed with the outfitting of a new command trailer in the amount not to exceed $200,000, and all the processes being reported to the board.
Yep.
Okay. I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Nay. And that motion carries 3-2. All right. 12.3.
So, Commissioner Brown, are you voting nay as well?
I voted no because I feel like we could use the other one and save that money.
Okay, I just didn't hear you.
That's yeah, I did say no. So, yeah, that's the reason. And that's my only objection to it, is to save the money, so.
Can I just, if I may clarify one thing? This investment of 200,000 would still have been needed if we use the old trailer. So there is no savings.
Okay,
So I'd just bring that up in view of your
okay,
reason there.
that's fine. All right, 12.3, discuss, consider, and take any action on replacing defective turbochargers on Troop Brush 146 at a cost of $5,274.22.
Commissioners, this is a standard maintenance purchase for us. The truck has a defective turbo and needs to be replaced to remain in service.
Are y'all having any problem getting those turbos like we have in the past on some of them?
Not that I'm aware of, and I think this is the second time we're going to be using Hex 6. They're kind of a newer company, so we'll see how they perform on this turbo.
Make a motion, we authorize staff to contract Hex 6 and Company LLC to replace both defective turbochargers on Troop Brush 146 at a cost of $5,274.22.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, I have a second. Second by Commissioner Wilson. He beat you by just a second. Any other question or discussion? Not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries. 12.4, discuss, consider, and take action on the purchase of lockers for station personnel at a cost of $15,565.21.
Commissioners, these are lockers that are needed at two facilities, our staff location in Troop as well as Chapel Hill. It's for two different types of lockers. In Troop, these are for their uniform lockers that would go inside to house their uniforms and their bedding. At Chapel Hill, it's going to be those as well as gear lockers for the bay. With the volunteers and the paid staff operating out of that facility, we don't have enough gear lockers, and there are no uniform and bedding lockers. It has been through an evaluation tabulation, and we looked at these a couple of different ways, including built-ins and prefabs.
Were any of these part of our remodels?
No, sir, these are not part of the remodels. And during the
Chapel Hill?
Chapel Hill, we're looking at a remodel on. That was one that we said we were going to need a remodel. We're still in process, working through all of the legalities, trying to get leases in place and things like that for that facility. So,
And this is all just your station furniture?
yeah, I think that anything that we would do as far as a remodel at Chapel Hill would have to be a future budget year. I don't think that we're at a spot, even if we had the funding this year, that we would be able to accomplish a remodel that's required, just with the amount of time and labor and manpower that's going to take to do that, and going through all of the purchasing and architectural requirements. So I think, yes, this is going to tax our it is going to tax our station furnishings budget. In fact, we project to go over budget in this line item, but we also project to have savings in other line items to cover it within logistics.
And this is necessary to make it a little more comfortable for both those stations.
It is. Both of these stations were really unplanned to be staffed this year, so, these items weren't line item budgeted. If we'd have planned on staffing this early, we would have had these in the budget.
Well, I'll make the motion to purchase this for the two stations at $15,565.21. The lockers.
Motion by Commissioner Wilson, purchase the lockers from Salisbury Industries for the cost of $15,565.21.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 12.5, authorize staff to purchase new front and rear tires for Noonday Support 166 from contractor vendor Southern Tire Mart at a cost of $2,350.64.
Commissioners, this is standard wear and tear purchase.
Yeah, I make the motion we approve staff purchase front rear tires from Hyundai 166 for $2,350.64.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy, authorize staff to purchase new front and rear tires for Noonday Support 166 from the contractor vendor Southern Tire Mart at a cost of $2,350.64.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 12.6, authorize staff to purchase replacement compartment door for reserve engine 251 from Metro Fire at a cost of $2,062.93.
Commissioners, long story short, we had a fleet accident at Fleet. One of the technicians was pulling a truck out of the bay, left a compartment door open, struck the side of the bay with that compartment door. No damage to the facility. However, the compartment door needs to be replaced. This resulted in disciplinary action as well as policy and procedure changes and updates. Be happy to answer any questions and recommend that you move forward with the purchase.
I make the motion we authorize staff to purchase replacement compartment door for reserve E251 from Metro Fire, cost $2,062.93.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy to authorize staff to purchase a replacement compartment door for reserve engine 251 from Metro Fire at a cost of $2,062.93.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and that motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 13, Chief of Operations report.
Good evening, Commissioners. Happy to report that today we were able to go live with Tactical Tender 121 at Red Springs. So that's been quite an effort, a collaboration amongst facilities, fleet, staff, really working hard to get the station repaired and upgraded to the point of operational ready for the team that's up there. So we're excited to report that asset is in place. We're riding the ARP. Tactical Tender is what is up there at this point, awaiting the new one that we purchased at the special call to go to Troop. So at this point, Troop is riding on the Noonday engine 266. So we're making do with what we have and really pleased to report that that's in service for you. Just a couple of other highlights. Nikki reported about the activity that's been on the water, and it really has been unprecedented, and at least from my perspective. Still consider myself a newcomer here, but that it's still rather bizarre, the amount of incidents on the lake. In fact, just Sunday, another one on Lake Tyler. White House VFD was collaborating with myself in making sure that we had boat coverage on Lake Tyler. So I appreciate their efforts out there, interacted with them on the water and as well as a pre-meeting and some good work, just not only PR work, but also work of incidents. And lo and behold, we had another incident with injuries and criminal activity that took place related to it. So working directly with the game warden, pre-meetings with the game warden, and a lot of great collaboration happening with that. Unfortunately, we had another incident that we worked at the request of the game warden, Texas Parks and Wildlife at Hideaway Lake, and mutual aid up there, and worked an unfortunate situation of a body recovery of a young male. There's just been one right after another, and it's a little spooky. It's like you build it and they'll come. And we built a team, and the team is training extensively. They've been dive operations, swift water operations, upcoming boat school that we'll be attending, really getting some competencies on the boats that you've provided for us. So I'm just happy to report that we've made a lot of progress in that. We're collaborating across the district to make sure that we're well positioned to take care of those water calls that come. With that, really talk about the training field just a moment, that a lot of hard work has gone into that. If you get a chance to go up there and take a look, not only have the containers been expanded, concrete, the rotomill is down, so the surfaces are improved. Really making a lot of progress on that facility. We're waiting on the inserts that are commercially manufactured for us to be shipped. So that'll be our next step, is to get the burn labs that go inside. Those are commercially made for us, and the stairs and things that will really take us to the next level in this project. So appreciate your support with that and making good progress on it. I am pleased to report that we've now got in the Jackson Heights Engine 132, the Pierce is ready to go in service. I'd like to do that this Thursday at 10 a.m. We would need to post a notice of gathering. I'd like for you to attend if possible. I know it's short notice, but it's time to put that apparatus in service. It's long past time. Been a lot of work behind the scenes to get us where we're at. And so that's great news that'll be in service, serving at Jackson Heights in 132 engine. You might also notice in my report, we talk about the company familiarization walkthroughs. Those are not inspections per se. We're not walking on the fire marshal's office or the Texas Commission on Fire Protection standards related to that, but rather a familiarization of the commercial occupancies and target hazards that exist within the county. We have had to move a volume of our staff around in terms of promotions, in terms of opening up these new companies that we've just talked about. And in doing that, Chief Strickland has pulled out his last hair in trying to manage getting the right people at the right places. And so that creates another challenge, which means that sometimes people are at less familiar houses. And so this is an important aspect of getting those company familiarization walkthroughs with their new crews, gets them out and about, as well as identifying the water sources. And so we're out turning hydrants. We're turning lots of hydrants and making sure that if it's not going to flow, let's find out tonight rather than the night of the incident. So those things are ongoing. There's been a lot of progress in that. I'm getting great feedback from the field. I'm just happy to report that, and we'll be able to provide some data stats moving forward on our next ops report. Happy to answer any questions that you might have related to that.
Just noted one thing, and as we've moved from, 100% staff stations, that the no response.
Yeah.
So we have 7.
Right.
4 of them were at unstaffed stations initially, so probably in our next report, if we have no response, I'd like for you to be able to talk.
I'll cover exactly what those are.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I think another thing too, missing tickets. There shouldn't be any missing tickets.
Right, yeah, we should have this ticket update as well.
A missing report.
Yeah,
Okay.
no
Yep.
reports.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, and just so you'll know, I'm gonna be out of town. I'll try to be back Thursday for the push-in, but I may not make it. But
Yeah.
it's not that I don't want to, but
Most of you have attended. I just want to extend that invite. We're honored to have you there. It's the same kind of service that we'll do, but I find it's respectable to the heritage of the fire service. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Item 13.2 is approve the budget amount not to exceed $35,697 to conduct district-wide hose and ladder testing.
Yeah, Commissioners, what you have before you was line item budgeted within the budget process that we're included in. Additionally, it went through evaluation tabulation several months back to prepare for the budget. Those numbers are confirmed and still good today for this pricing. This does include going to each of our facility locations to accomplish it, which, you know, the challenge of trying to get everything up to the shop was extensive. So this is exactly as budgeted, exactly as planned for. Chief Smith and Larry worked together to get the evaluation tabulation done ahead of time. It's exactly what was included in the budget. Happy to answer any of your questions.
I do have one question. Since you're essentially going to be testing the ladders on the first out engine, are y'all fixing to plan on getting the reserve engine down there for that day?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep. We'll make sure all of that's done.
okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on item 13.2.
I'll approve the budget amount not to exceed $35,697 to conduct district-wide hose and ladder testing.
Have a motion by Commissioner Arnold to approve the budget amount not to exceed $35,697 to conduct district-wide hose and ladder testing. Have a second? Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. All right. Item 13.3, discuss, consider, and take any action on Marine 166 upfit. Approve the amount of $103,000.
No.
$103.81 for final outfit of Marine 166.
Commissioners, this is just in full transparency. As we went through all of the costs associated with the upfit, you had approved an $8,000 upfit. We're exceeding that by $103.81, and I respectfully ask for your consideration to complete the project.
What is it, a knob?
So it's a volume of things. So which one do we point at that were all kind of bought simultaneously? But there's one ticket still waiting to be purchased.
Make a motion that we approve the amount of 100, I'm having a hard time getting that.
Well, Commissioners, we wanted to be transparent. Yeah. I have ideas for that, but, you know.
No, we appreciate y'all bringing it forward.
Yes.
for us.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the amount of $103.81 for final outfit of Marine 166, and a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 13.4, discuss, consider, and take necessary action on Smith County ESD2 banquet. And I understand this is for the badging ceremony for the new recruits and stuff, so, in the amount not to exceed $6,103.36.
Yeah, Commissioners, I appreciate the help that staff, including Nikki, has provided to help me get this put together. You know, the time slips up on you quickly. We had worked with Green Acres to get the facility several months back, and it looks like it's way off, but things really track on pretty quick, and it's on top of us. This is similar to what I was challenged with when I arrived, which was employee recognition. And we did badge pinning and swearing in, the oath of office. I've continued to do that. I did one ceremony at ARP 41 House that was well received in friends and family in the Bay. That caught us up. We're behind on a few now. Some of those I've done in the field, but we've had promotions that need to be upgraded to their promoted status. With all that said, we're also prepared to implement of the years, and that'd be the first for our district to, outside of the VFDs, this would be the first for us to recognize our Recruit of the Year, our Firefighter of the Year, and Officer of the Year. And so we're really excited about that opportunity. As well as there's some awards to be put in place. There's been a couple of calls that are worthy of such recognition. And so it's all in alignment with not only what I was challenged with when I arrived, but also what was line item budgeted for this budget cycle. Happy to answer any of your questions.
I'll entertain a motion.
So maybe. Make a motion. Yeah.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Domney to approve the $6,103. Yeah, for the banquet. And a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 13.5, discuss, consider and take any action on members attending EMT school. Approve the EMT project for 5 EMT students at a cost not to exceed $10,000.
Commissioners, you might remember just the last meeting we approved the advanced EMT course, and so we're making great strides in improving our EMS service delivery. Due to your support, we've improved in things like the Lucas device, and we've improved in the advanced EMT class that we're going to be in conjunction with TJC. This one is a catch-up provision of those that are still under ECA or EMR certification. We have upgraded our entry-level certification standard to EMT. We still have 5 that are out there for a variety of reasons that were FMLA, unable to attend, a variety of things that occurred a year ago, and this would be the catch-up of the last remaining 5 to upgrade to an EMT status. I'm excited about the progress that we're making. I'm excited about what that translates into in terms of service delivery to our citizens. And so I respectfully ask for you to approve a online class that we'll also do in-house tutoring with. So this is an online school, comes out of that particular line item. It is budgeted within that line item, and the funds are available without issue there.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
Did you check with our county EMS provider and ask them to do the course? Because according to their contract, they're supposed to be doing EMT courses for us.
We've asked them to do our continuing CE pieces, and we've asked them, and they've done our competency checkoffs, but I don't think that they're in a position to do that.
Even though they're contracted to do that with the county. Interesting. Okay. That's just a question I had. I'll entertain a motion on 13.5.
Make a motion to approve the EMT project for 5 EMT students, cost not to exceed $10,000.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Domney. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That motion carries. All right, item 14. Thank you, Chief. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the fire chief's presenting and discussing issues with the board for future actions. Art. Hey, Chief.
Good evening, Commissioners. As far as training goes, we've been doing some in-house training. Did have one that went through TEATS, did a 36-hour ropes rescue class last month. As far as calls, we had a low call volume for the month. I think we had 35 calls, which is good, but we were still almost 100% active. I think we had one that was inactive, but everybody else was active and was still able to get their runs or rostering hours in. Any questions for Art?
Overall, you had a good participation rate for your volunteers as well in the period. So we appreciate that.
What are you looking like for this month?
Do what?
What you looking like for this month? That same something?
I'll be 100%
Okay.
because the one inactive is now gone, so we'll be 100%.
Yes, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So if you look at our certification numbers, we're at 20 now. 17 out of those 20 have achieved those necessary fire certifications. We've got 2 that have completed the fire academy. They are tested. They are waiting to pay for their IFSAC seals. That is something that we don't reimburse them for through the ESD or through the 2604 grant. So a lot of times they don't have, because they just came out of the academy, they don't have the money to pay for it. Some of the senior members have taken up some kitties and paid for some of those people just to help them along. Long and short of it is, by next month, I wholeheartedly believe that we will be at 19 of 20. The last person is in the fire academy with an anticipated completion date in 3 months. So we should be at 20. We did have one resignation last month. One of our younger firefighters has moved on in his career. We also had one that was terminated due to failing to comply with the ESD regulations, which we wholeheartedly support. The person did not come in and respond to the IT renewal account process, so that person was terminated. We have retrieved equipment from all of those, from the resignation and from the termination. We had a very good meeting on May 8th. When I came to you last month, I committed to working with the ESD on a lease agreement or an agreement for the renovation at Station 56. A lease agreement was brought forward. That lease agreement was rejected. However, we had offered the ability for the ESD to recover about $720,000 over a 10-year period. Our board of directors is going to re-engage with Chief Greaser and the executive admin to see where we can go from the lease agreement. If there's options out there, our board of directors is open to engaging in the conversation. There's no commitment there, but we are working towards it. Assistant Executive Administrator Locke had indicated that the Bullard project, which I believe is Station 57, the remodel, will be moving forward. I talked with Ms. Barton today. That looks like mid-June after they recover from Station 121's renovation. So that will allow us to have the opportunity to staff that station with the volunteers. Our numbers, we continue to see a stabilization after the staffing of 24 hours at Station 56. We're running right around 500 hours still of volunteer shift coverage. That is down from about 1,400 when we were staffing every night. It's an anticipated downturn. But with our certified staff, we're certainly seeing the benefit of having that program in place and drawing out of the academies. So we look forward to continuing that partnership, and it is a partnership with the ESD. There's funds that come from there. There's funds that come from the 2604 grant funding, so we do appreciate that. Do you have any questions?
trend in this period, this particular month, where the number of volunteer responses is significantly lower than what you have been in the past. And just something bring to your attention, just to make sure that we looking at it, see what's going on. Ultimately, that's the real value, right, is we're responding to.
Yes, sir. That's a result of the 24-hour staffing because we're no longer staffing 12 hours from 8P to 8A. So we're seeing a reduction.
And, yeah, on a percent basis, I would have expected to continue to see something, wouldn't see something that drastic. Okay, that's fine, you're aware.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chapel Hill, Chief Peterson.
Good evening. We've been having busy, it was a little shorter this month, we had a few less runs, but our guys have been still picking up, working out at the station and stuff. In fact, we have actually got a lot more guys now signing up to work at our station with the crews now. So I got more and more going to start signing up, working hours, just trying to help in at that time as well. Also, we, like I said, we did have the UT Health come out to our station for 4 hours for our FRO training, where they did all the stations from the Lucas and everything else to train our department, plus I think 3 other departments came in and helped too as well. So we got all that training from them. Also, let's see, oh yeah, we had one member completed his rope and rescue awareness operation in Rusk County, and completed on that course. And also we helped out at the high school. I've been doing a lot with the high school. We had a health fair at the high school, and so we staffed the table there and talked to some of the kids and stuff there as well, as parents. I had 5 members attended the SFMA, our Northeast Texas meeting, had a workshop for a volunteer side. And then also we had our quarterly meeting with our association. We had 7 members, and we had a training day on a Saturday with all the departments on Air One came out there, and so Fly for Life did, so we got to know the helicopter doing landing zone and working on that, as well as working water shelling operations. If we're more or less, that's what we're going to be doing, so we're practicing on keeping up with the water shelling. In return to that, we did our meeting in Chapel Hill. We actually did the drafting. Because we got a grant, I told about dry hydrants. We went and ordered some more hard sucking hose and a new strainer and stuff that we are going to be using with our trucks. So we've been practicing with our new stuff as well. Then I also have, I had one new member just went through the process, so I'm glad he's already certified through everything, commission-wise. So he'll be starting to run calls for us. And then also I got one more new member I just sent the application in. So he's in the process going through his qualification. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Fundraising, Chief Fallon.
Good evening. My numbers, I'll tell you right now, Brent, are down on activity, but there's a lot of things behind it. I'm one of them myself that didn't make it. I've had a lot going on personally, so. But anyway, I had one that I'm very proud of.
You're still number 2 in the group, so you hadn't dropped that far. You dropped from number 1 to number 2, so you're.
Yeah, but still, it's not where we want to be.
Yeah.
I had one that completed their bachelor's in emergency management, which is very proud of her. We've took on 2 new members. I want to touch a little more on our countywide training. We had roughly, we had it in 2 stages all day long. As he was saying, the LZ and the tanker operations, we had all day long roughly an average of 40 volunteers out there participating. Just so y'all know what we've kind of all collectively have decided we're going to do, we're accepting our new role as that's part of our new role, and we want to be the best at doing it. And on the tanker operations, that was just the first phase of several phases we're going to do. That was just mainly showing them how many we would need for what particular GPM and everything that they were running. The next one will be more evolutions and different things. We originally was only gonna do 2 quarterly meetings all day long of training. We had such a good turnout and they enjoyed it so well that now we're gonna have 4. So everyone's gonna be that way, that we're gonna have a big training, and hopefully our participation will even come up even higher. Talked to Chief Greaser about it. We're kinda all excited about it, that we're getting some good response. And, you know, just kinda wanted to let y'all know more that we really did have a whole lot of people turn out for that. So it was very good. Any questions?
Appreciate it, but thanks, Chief. Noonday, Chief Harper, your last one, I guess, unless you don't wanna speak.
I don't have anything. We've just been working with Chief Smith and making the transition of volunteers to the ESD.
And Chief Tate, not here. Okay, here.
Got
Okay.
one.
There you go.
Good evening.
City had to make it clear.
So I'd like to begin, please excuse Chief Tate. He had an emergency and had to go to Dallas, deal with traffic, didn't make it back in time. As far as training goes, White House, Chapel Hill, and Winona, we had a good training at Chapel Hill Station. We went over salvage covers, extinguishers, and forcible entry. As Tim Stone said about the association training, we had about roughly 6 members from White House attend. White House attended a 511 event. It was good. We had good positive interaction. Roughly about 3 applications come in from that. This past weekend, we staffed the boat, a brush truck, and a tender Saturday and Sunday. While on the water, we towed about 2 boats. We did have 1 incident. We had numerous positive comments from other agencies out there. And then, as y'all know, these past storms, we had multiple apparatus staffed. And then Chief Tate and Captain Bewley will both be attending SFMA conference. And that's about it. I'll answer any questions to the best of my ability, but I'm just the messenger.
We won't pick on you today.
So y'all did staff your boat all weekend? Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we did. Yes, sir.
Didn't have to go out Monday, though?
No, we did not.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One on, Chief Allen?
It's been a pretty productive month for Winona. We have 4, I believe now, that is in the Henderson Rusk Academy. I'm remember exactly sure which one that one is. Miss Paula handles that one for me. We did attend multiple trainings throughout the county, and by all means, we have encouraged volunteer participation. As we see in the report, we had almost 100% participation. We have 1 cadet that's not necessarily allowed to function fully yet. She's working on getting her support certification before she can branch out and go on to other things. But answer any questions. All right.
All right. At this time, we'll move to item 15, which is closed session. The board will convene in closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session, and we are in closed session at 7:23. Everyone, please clear the way.
I don't plan on saying anything. All up to Charles now.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. I call regular session back to order at 8:18. And, there's no action to be taken after closed session, and so, only thing I'll say is, I appreciate everything everybody's doing, both career and volunteer. Everybody seems to be working together a little bit better, which is great. Our next meeting should be on the fourth Monday of next month, which I believe will be the 23rd of June at 6 o'clock here at this office. Yeah. Commissioner Donovan, you have anything?
No, sir.
Commissioner Wilson?
No.
Ms. Long? Thank you for your service. You have anything, Commissioner Thornton, you want to say?
He's froze.
Is he froze? Okay.
And he's got a
All right.
solemn look on his face.
See that or he's asleep. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
So made, we are adjourned at 8:19. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, gracious.